Have you ever heard the saying, the most dangerous place is sometimes the one you think is safest? Today, we're diving into a case that proves just that. It's a story that starts on a quiet, tree-lined street and ends in a discovery so shocking, it left an entire community reeling. This is the tragic and baffling case of Evelyn Harper. Evelyn Harper lived in a cozy little house in a neighborhood where everyone knew everyone. It was the kind of place where kids played in the streets until dusk and neighbors exchanged pleasantries over their fences. Evelyn, a woman in her late 60s, was a beloved fixture in this community. She was known for her immaculate garden, her friendly ways, and her quiet, gentle nature. She lived alone, but she was never truly lonely. Her life was simple, predictable, and safe, or so everyone thought. One crisp autumn morning, the mail courier noticed something odd. Evelyn's mailbox was overflowing. This was unusual. Evelyn was meticulous. She collected her mail every single day. A little knot of concern formed in his stomach. He mentioned it to a neighbor, who then tried calling Evelyn. The phone rang and rang, unanswered. When another neighbor went to knock on her door, there was no response. The stillness from inside the house felt unnatural. Panic began to set in. The police were called, and they entered the home to conduct a welfare check. Inside, everything appeared normal. A half-finished cup of tea sat on the kitchen counter. Her reading glasses were on the nightstand, and her bed was neatly made. But Evelyn was gone. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, nothing to suggest a violent intrusion. It was as if she had simply vanished into thin air. The search for Evelyn Harper began immediately. Police, family, and hundreds of concerned neighbors fanned out across the town. They combed through nearby woods, checked local parks, and followed the winding paths of a nearby river. Her face was on every news channel, her description on flyers posted on every lamppost and storefront. The community was united in their goal: bring Evelyn home. Days turned into a week, and the hope that had once burned so brightly began to flicker. The search area expanded, with helicopters circling overhead and canine units sniffing through dense forests miles away from her home. The police theory was that Evelyn, perhaps disoriented, had wandered off and gotten lost in the vast wilderness surrounding the town. They poured all their resources into this wide-net search, convinced they would find her somewhere out in the sprawling landscape. But amidst the massive official search effort, one volunteer had a nagging feeling. His name was Tom, a retired firefighter who knew the area like the back of his hand. Tom felt that everyone was looking in the wrong place. He told anyone who would listen, "Why would she wander miles away? Her car is in the driveway. Her purse is in the house. It doesn't make sense." He argued that the answer had to be closer to home, much closer. But in the frenzy of the large-scale operation, his voice was just a whisper in the wind. The official search commanders dismissed his concerns, convinced their strategy was the right one. They were the experts, after all. Tom, frustrated but determined, decided to conduct his own small-scale search. He and a few other volunteers who shared his skepticism started methodically re-examining the immediate vicinity of Evelyn's neighborhood. They walked the same streets over and over, checked back alleys, and peered into every shed and garage, hoping to spot something everyone else had missed. They found nothing. The frustration was immense. It felt like they were chasing a ghost. Weeks turned into a month. The media attention began to wane, and the number of volunteers dwindled. A grim acceptance started to settle over the community. Evelyn Harper's disappearance was on the verge of becoming a cold case. Another unsolved mystery filed away in a dusty cabinet. The official search had been called off, having yielded absolutely no clues. It was a dead end. And then came the day that changed everything. It was a routine workday for a local utility crew, tasked with checking a gas line that ran alongside Evelyn's property. One of the workers, a man named Dave, was digging a small trench right next to the fence separating Evelyn's yard from her neighbor's. The ground was unusually soft in one particular spot. He plunged his shovel into the earth, and it hit something that wasn't a rock or a root. He dug a little more, his curiosity piqued. As he cleared away the soil, a piece of fabric came into view. It was the pattern from a floral housecoat, the same one Evelyn was known to wear. A cold dread washed over him. He frantically cleared more dirt away, and the horrifying truth was revealed. There, buried in a shallow grave less than 20 feet from her own back door, was the body of Evelyn Harper. The discovery sent a shockwave through the town that was more powerful than any earthquake. The place everyone had been searching for weeks, the answer to the mystery, had been right there all along, right under their noses. The search parties, the helicopters, The police dogs, they had all been miles away while Evelyn lay buried just steps from the safety of her home. The investigation took a sharp, dramatic turn. This was no longer a missing person case. It was a homicide. The focus immediately shifted from the vast wilderness to the small, tight-knit neighborhood. The police now had to look at Evelyn's neighbors, friends, and family not as concerned citizens, but as potential suspects. The person responsible was not some stranger who had abducted her in the woods, but someone who knew her, someone who had been close enough to bury her in her own yard without being seen. The autopsy revealed that Evelyn had been killed by blunt force trauma. The police re-interviewed everyone, looking for inconsistencies, for any crack in the facade of this perfect little neighborhood. They soon zeroed in on the man living right next door. He was a quiet man, someone who had even participated in the early days of the search. But his timeline had holes, and his story kept changing under pressure. During a search of his home, police found traces of Evelyn's blood in his garage, and soil on a shovel matched the soil from the makeshift grave. The motive, it turned out, was depressingly simple. He had been stealing from Evelyn for months, small amounts of cash here and there, thinking she wouldn't notice. One afternoon, she confronted him. The argument escalated, and in a moment of panic and rage, he struck her. Realizing what he had done, he buried her in the dead of night in the one place he thought no one would ever look, right next door. He then watched as the whole town searched for her, even pretending to help, confident his secret was safe beneath the earth. The case of Evelyn Harper is a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It highlights the dangers of tunnel vision in an investigation and the importance of listening to every voice, no matter how small. Tom, the volunteer who insisted they were looking in the wrong place, was right all along. His intuition, born from common sense, was more accurate than all the high-tech resources of the official search. This story leaves us with unsettling questions. How well do we really know the people we live beside every day? And how often do we overlook the obvious answer because we are too busy searching for a more complicated one? The tragedy of Evelyn Harper is not just that she was taken, but that she was so close to being found the entire time. Thanks for watching. If you found this case as compelling as I did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into fascinating stories. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.